Hi, my name is Ugochi Abukichi.
What are your experiences with bilingualism or multilingualism?
I was in a Japanese immersion program for the first 12 years of my schooling. So from kindergarten to fifth grade, we had half our days in Japanese class and the other half of the day in English class. Middle school, we had two periods. One was Japanese and the other was Japanese social studies. And then in high school, we had a period a day of Japanese. And we completed our program after our senior year.
What was your methods of learning your second language?
It was instruction by our teachers, but we also, like, we had homework and we had quizzes and we had things that daily in the class, like, they would try and speak to us in Japanese, and like we weren't allowed to speak English that much, or we were supposed to not, to each other and to the teachers. And we also went to Japan twice in our program, once in fifth grade, which was just a trip to kind of bring together the program and just, use the skills that we had learned. And then in eighth grade, we took a trip and it was a research residency. So we had, each of us who went had theses and a research project or a question that they wanted to ask. And then we did interviews and composed our data at the end and did like a capstone project.
What method do you find more effective? Language immersion or classroom?
I personally find language immersion more effective just because when you're talking to someone, it forces you, like, especially if you're like abroad, like it forces you to use the language or, find ways to express yourself. Because when in the classroom, like, even though we weren't supposed to speak English that much, like, you can, it's easy because our teachers know English as well. So we know that if we really just can't get a sentence, like, we're going to just say it in English.
Right.
But if you're abroad or, you're speaking with someone who's only a Japanese speaker, like, you are forced to really, like, you're going to have to learn and adapt. And I feel like when you're immersed in that environment, it does come a little bit more naturally, second nature. I personally don't think I would respond to that very well, just because I know that if you're yelling at me / throwing things at me, I don't know how much I would actually be wanting to listen to you regardless of what you're saying. Like, I think that it was the reason why I personally feel like I learned Japanese so well is because, like, our teachers didn't speak to us in English, or they tried not to, but they weren't mean about it. It was just like, if we came up and asked them something in English, they would say, no, say it in Japanese. And so that kind of like frustrated me in a way sometimes when I would like really just not know how to say what I was trying to say, but then it like forced me to learn how to say it, and then you're gonna remember that. And so for next time when you need it, or you want to say something similar, like, you're gonna remember that phrase or the structure and then apply it to other things. So I don't think negative reinforcement would be a good way to do that, because I feel like some people might shut down.